I'm good.
Okay, good.
I like your
Thank
red brick
thank-
backdrop. That's dope.
It's my kitchen wall.
It's super cool.
Thank you. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me. See, you're chugging the coffee over there.
Oh yeah.
I don't blame you. It's about time for my third pot. Um, all right. So I watched Suburban Screams. I loved it.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
And your episode, A Killer Comes Home, is you rarely get true crime things that we haven't seen a million times. I mean, we all know about Dahmer and Bundy, but blah blah blah. But I mean, this is a case that I had never heard of.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. Tell me how it came to be that one.
Yeah, we have an amazing team of researchers, at the head of this project, searching out stuff, finding different stories that fit into this kind of suburban horror, lens. And hundreds of stories come through. And this came to, I hadn't heard of it either. I was like, wow. And then when I heard this guy, you know, went to prison for murder, escaped, and then started terrorizing his hometown and neighborhood, it was like, wow, that's Halloween. And I happened to be working with John Carpenter. So it was kind of like mind blowing. And John really wanted to do his Phone Stalker episode, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna take on the Alan Legier story, Killer Comes Home, and that was the genesis of it.
Right. So what is the difference between shooting an episode for TV and then shooting a true story episode? What's the difference when it comes to making it?
Well, between you mean like scripted fiction and like
How do you? I mean, what's the difference when you actually get down to the bones of making it?
well, the difference is, everything starts with finding the story, right? And then it's a lot of research and all this, and then I do extensive interviews, right? I interview these folks for 5 hours, at a time, really getting into like every single like element of their life. It's all important, and then that we take that structure, so that kind of truth of storytelling, and examine it, and then create what would be usually, a scripted film or a scripted TV show. And then we go shoot that and combine all the parts together. So, it's and filter it all through kind of the vision of, what this series is, and John Carpenter's lens and all that collaboration to make something where the truth enhances the horror.
Right, right, and it's definitely a horror. You don't get much more terrifying than someone. It basically, yeah, you're right. It is Halloween. This
Yeah,
dude is basically Michael Myers,
that's right.
and that's so creepy. But I love that the people involved, especially the editor of the newspaper, um, Rick McLean, he was a fascinating character in this whole situation.
Yeah, Rick, it's interesting because this is this local newspaper trying to get the story, but they're also kind of like on the kill list, you know? And it's just, it was an incredible perspective, to have on it. So, a challenge of a story like this is like, all right, well, you got to be respectful to the victims, first of all, and not glamorize the killer too much, but also create an experience, in an entertaining show that is worthwhile watching, that pays off. So the perspective of Rick, and also the publisher of the paper, was a really kind of fascinating entry point, because they were trying to get the scoop the whole time, and they were on the list, and their marriages were breaking up. So all of these different factors made for like a really engaging and I think scary story, that fit into this suburban horror, so well. Rick's just a great storyteller and a great journalist.
right, and that's awesome. And I love that the way that you approach it. It kind of feels the series feels like kind of unsolved mysteries meets Tales from the Dark Side.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's the kind of vibe I get from it. But it really is fascinating and it looks fantastic. I mean,
Thank
the
you.
cinematography is great in this.
Yeah, we shoot all those all the scene work stuff. That's not the documentary stuff. We shoot that all in Czech Republic. Um, yeah, and there's just amazing teams there. Also the other directors, Michelle Latimer, Jan Pavlaki, obviously John Carpenter. But we have just really teams that really care about filmmaking and get the vision and want to make something good. And that's just a joy to be a part of.
Right, and it's great.
Cinematographers too. The cinematographers as well, you know, like David
Yeah,
Hoffman and Mark Bliss.
definitely fantastic. So, what was it about the story when it came time for you to direct it? What did you most want to get across? You most want to focus on besides, obviously this guy's a psychopath.
Yeah.
But how did you come about? I mean, approach it when you were directing.
I'm sorry, what's that?
How did you, just kind of approach it when you were directing? What was, the things you want to emphasize on?
Yeah, I mean it's all about emotion, you know. I think in any filmmaking or anything that I like that's filmmaking. So it's getting across the emotion to be in the shoes of the characters, right? This isn't a psychological analysis of the killer. It's more of a being in the place of being the hunted. So I wanted to get across in the directing style, factoring in some techniques and stuff that John uses, but that feeling of always being hunted. You'll see a lot of kind of handheld POV shots in our masters. Sorry to get too inside baseball, but I wanted to create an experience like you're in their shoes and being hunted, and that's what I try to get across there.
And you accomplished that. And like the scenes with I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
The woman that's in bed,
Yeah.
that was intense. That was, I mean, you could tell like that actress did amazing.
Yeah, she was really did a top-notch job, and so did the Alan Legier actor. Yeah, it was hard, you know. You really everyone felt it was a very intense set. Let's just say that. And and these are all trying to stay true to the what really happened, which is what we did. So I'm picturing in my head what that experience might have been like through talking to the folks, and trying to capture that on camera and working with the actors and cinematographers to give the feeling of what if this guy was doing this to you, putting you in their shoes.
Right. You kind of want to watch over your shoulder, the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's hard to sleep while making that.
Oh, I bet. And what happened to the guy? Is he still in prison
Yeah,
or?
he's in prison, but there's a fear that he's gotten out before. He's super cunning, and so there is a little bit of that fear left over in the community for sure. If he gets out, he's going to kill again, and he's already been up for parole. He was denied, but
Like,
that just happened. He'll be up for parole again.
yeah, that's hopefully the parole board has better sense than to let him out.
I hope so. Yeah.
So, what are you working on now?
So I've got a number of projects in development. Certainly still working to kind of expand this genre of truth enhancing, the fiction storytelling or truth enhancing the cinematic storytelling, might I say. So I'm definitely working in that genre. And oh, kitty. Uh,
Sorry.
no, I love it. And you know, so I think we can take this approach to filmmaking even beyond horror, which I'm super excited about. And you know, excited to put it out there and see what's next, both in horror and beyond.
Well, I'm hoping that, there'll be a second season of Suburban Screams because, like I said, I liked it. And I liked that it's graphic and that
Mm.
it kind of pulls no punches and it's willing to put things out there that other shows won't.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, what's the point of doing this if we don't go for it, right?
Right.
So yeah, I try to be fearless in my filmmaking. Certainly, John's pretty fearless, pretty damn fearless in his filmmaking. So yeah, we would love to